We're back. You're waking up with Dee on News and Talk WAOK, the voice of the community. And we have with us this morning Natalie Wilson, and she is the co-founder of the Black and Missing Foundation. Listen, Natalie Wilson is a dynamic media strategist and public relations powerhouse with over 20 years of experience amplifying voices that too often go unheard. As co-founder and COO of the Black and Missing Foundation, BAMFI, she drives the organization's strategic outreach, media engagement, and public awareness on campaigns that spotlights missing persons of color. She is I want to talk to her this morning because she is the founder of NWR Communications Group, a boutique PR agency, but she's also has a company, multimedia production company, um, which is also BAMFI Enterprises, right? And it focuses on content and technical consultation for TV, film, and digital media, highlighting missing persons and real life challenges with biopic communities. I mean, BIPOC communities. Lord, I'm doing something else. But y'all, listen. The reason why I'm so glad she's on today is we know how many Black people are missing. And it's not talked about enough. So we are honored today to have with us Natalie Wilson. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Good morning. Listen, I'm so glad that you took the time out to be with us on this morning. We're always hearing about missing people on the news, but rarely are they Black people, or it's just a lot of Black people missing, and people aren't talking about it collectively. Not the work you're doing, but how do we change that? And tell us what it is exactly that you do.
Yes. So, we at the Black and Missing Foundation, the reason we were created is to ensure that our missing, our household names too, we know the Chandra Levy's, the Natalie Holloways, the Gabby Petitos, and the list goes on and on. But there are people, brown and Black people, missing from our communities, and we don't know who they are. They're not, everyday names. And we have been advocating and sounding the alarm for 17 years now that we're changing that because 40% of all persons missing in America, they are persons of color. And that's over 200,000 people reported missing every year. And the key here is reported missing because we know that there are some communities that don't report their loved ones missing for whatever reason. So we want to ensure that we amplify these cases because it equals, visibility equals justice.
Mm, mm. Okay, so let me ask you a question. You just mentioned how we know the names of other people, and why is it that do you feel it's just racial that we don't have these other names called, or do they not care about our value, our flesh? What is it? I mean, I have my own ideas, but what do you feel like it
Well, I'll tell you what we're seeing as an organization. Many times, race, education, zip code, really affects the resources that you get, meaning, from the media and law enforcement, even community engagement.
is?
What we're also finding is that many of our cases, especially around missing Black girls and boys, law enforcement will classify them as a runaway. And many
Mm,
times they're not running away, right, or leaving home voluntarily. And we have to ask the question, what are they ultimately running from? And what are they running to? Because we know that within 24 to 48 hours of being on the street, our children are propositioned for sex and they become victims of sex trafficking. So we are asking law enforcement, who many times don't have that term runaway in their policies and procedures, to stop using that term. And also, when you're classified as a runaway, you do not receive the Amber Alert. You do not receive any type of media coverage at all. And what we're also advocating for is to change the narrative around our missing. They're not thugs. They're not criminals. They're not promiscuous. These are valuable members of our community. And even if you look back, peel the layers back, there's so much that we need to tackle as a community. But we need to protect those that are most vulnerable, because we know that the pimps and the pedophiles are preying on, what we take for granted, security, a roof over our head. These children and these individuals are looking for that comfort, and people are taking advantage of them.
Mm, mm, mm. And and I don't know, I like it, but you just laid it out for us. Um, Sometimes the Black children are labeled as runaways. Then when they're out there, law enforcement or other people may not put the same resources behind them. And then once they're out there, they're often picked up or solicited for sex and trafficking. So talk to us now and tell us, what can we do to amplify what you all are doing, as it relates to um, Black and missing. Walk us through what we got to do, because this is serious. And then I'm gonna have some more questions, so I might need you to be on two segments. So go ahead.
So first, we need to stop, turning a blind eye to this issue. What we're finding is that if you're not personally affected, then you're like, oh, why should I share it? You should be our digital milk carton. I'm not sure how, the demographic for your listeners, but when I was growing up, there were missing people on a milk carton in the grocery store. Well, we don't have that anymore, but we have social media, right? So share these profiles. All we need is one person to come forward with information that could help find someone or bring them home. Remember, these families are desperately searching for their missing loved ones. They don't know what happened, and they deserve answers. So share these profiles. And we don't have to think, nationally. Start with who's missing from your community, right? And if you have resources, if you belong to a faith-based organization, get your community involved, because sex trafficking could be happening to someone that no one is just talking about it. And if you're a teacher, a doctor, if you're some of these first line professionals, you see what's happening. And, utilize your intuition and reach out and help a child that could be a victim of sex trafficking. And, let's also look out for our elderly citizens or residents, because we're seeing an alarming number of aging parents or residents that have dementia or Alzheimer's. They're walking away, they're wandering away, and we need to protect them. And of course, we always need financial support, because our help or assistance to families, we don't charge them anything at all, but it's holistic, right? When we find someone, they may not be found alive, and we help families with burial services. Distributing flyers. Flyers are very expensive. I'm not sure if you've ever tried to print flyers before in a large quantity. It's costly, and we provide a lot of services for families. The holiday season is upon
Hold
us.
on for a minute. Hold on for a minute, Natalie. I gotta go to break, but when you come back, I
Okay.
want you to hold right there on that. The flyers
Okay.
and holiday season. All right, y'all. You're waking up with D. We have with us the co-founder of Black and Missing Foundation, Natalie Wilson. And we're gonna be right back with her on News and Talk WAOK. And we're back with Natalie Wilson, who is the co-founder of Black and Missing Foundation. And so when we were going to break, I was asking her, what is it that we could do to help? Or how do we get the mission out there to do more to find our Black and Missing? And she started off by saying it costs money to make flyers. And so I want you to go ahead and finish the conversation, Ms. Williams.
Sure. And it's not just flyers, right? It's very expensive to run an organization like ours, because we're providing a holistic approach to families. And it's not just flyers, it's getting them the support and the resources that they need. It's helping financially. When mothers and fathers are disappearing, the household needs to run and continue, and we provide financial support for families. But what I was getting ready to say also is that, the holiday season, it's upon us, and we have children who are still at home waiting for their mom or dad to come back. So we provide a little, holiday cheer for them by providing the families or the guardian with financial support to get them some, toys or clothes or whatever they need for the holiday season.
Mm, okay. All right. So we know you do financial donations and then volunteers. Do you, except how, if people want to get engaged in Black and Missing, how do we do that?
Yes, please go to our website at bamfi.org. Please sign up for our newsletter. Please follow us on social media. Again, we send out alerts every single day, many times a day, and we just need someone to be brave enough, courageous enough, if they have information about a missing person, to share it with us. And we know that there's a sense of distrust between the minority community and law enforcement. So if you have a tip, send it to us, and we will not compromise your identity, but we will definitely get it to law enforcement so that they can investigate. So again, it takes all of us. It's not just, our community. The media has to do their job, and thank you for using your platform to bring awareness to this issue, as well as law enforcement needed to add resources to these cases. Because you have to remember, right, a missing person is a homicide waiting to happen. So we definitely don't want that to happen.
So let me ask you a question. How many on average, do you have any stats that can tell us how many Black girls or boys are missing in America? Or how many often go missing per year? Or, you know,
So let me break it down a bit. According to
okay.
the FBI, there are over 600,000 people reported missing. About
Mm,
40% of those are people of color, and black
mm,
people make up about a third of that. But again, you have to be mindful that there's some people that are not reporting their loved ones missing. So we believe the numbers are much higher. And with the FBI statistics, Hispanics are categorized with the whites, right? We know that 24% of Hispanics associate as being Afro Latina or Latino. So the numbers are much higher than what's being reported.
mm. So when I heard you do that breakdown, 'cause I was trying to do the math over in my head, that's at least 100,000 missing Black people or more, minimum. Because I was listening, I was trying to do that quick math, and so I'm like, oh my goodness, that's scary in and of itself. And so, what is the first thing we should do if someone comes missing and law enforcement doesn't want to deal with it? Tell us real quick. Let's try to have a scenario, a drill, real quick, because I need to know.
So if you have a missing child, you should call law enforcement right away and file a missing persons report and get that information out there on social media. Call family members. Have you seen, do you know where Sally is or John is? I haven't seen them. And contact our organization so that we can help you get that information out there. And the reason why I say contact our organization is what we're finding many times, family members are putting their personal cell phone or email on the flyers or on social media. Well, guess what's happening? Those family members are being scammed. They're getting ransom calls. People are, acting as though they're the missing person. And it's
Mm,
really unbelievable what happens. So that's why we put our information on there as well as law enforcement information so that the families are not taken advantage of. But again, time is of the essence, and you have to also know the laws within your jurisdiction. I know in some places, for an adult, you do not have to wait 24 to 48 hours to file a missing persons report. And in some jurisdictions, you can. So you have to understand the laws in your area.
I'm glad you just told us that because a lot of times people say, "Oh, you can't report somebody missing unless it's been 48 hours," and you just got to sit and wait and start looking. But I'm glad you said as soon as
Hmm.
you realize they're missing.
Right.
call law
And can I
enforcement.
also add, you
Yes.
know your family member better than anyone else, right? So if law enforcement is classifying your child as a runaway and you know your child would not leave home voluntarily, ask for the supervisor and ensure that your child is properly classified if they go missing.
Oh, that's good information as well. That's very good. Okay. And is there any other tips that we need to do to make, to maybe prevent people from coming up missing?
Well, we tell parents all the time really monitor what your child is doing on social media, right? These games, these chat
Mm.
features, that's how, we see them being victims of sex trafficking. And the grooming process doesn't happen overnight. We had a case out of Georgia where the 14-year-old girl was a gamer and the pedophile was grooming her for 2 years. And she
Oh,
became comfortable, gave him her information. He picked her up from home and trafficked her to Texas and then to Connecticut. So know who your child is communicating with. If your device has a chat feature, they're vulnerable. So have those conversations and then create a fictitious account and see if you can befriend your child. You'll see after a while they become comfortable and they may be upset with you and they're like, I don't want to be here. And the pedophile will jump right in. You don't have to be. Come on, I'll meet you and we can go to dinner and
oh,
shopping and all of that stuff. And then next thing you have that child's information. So create a fictitious account. And if the child shares that personal information with you, that's an opportunity to have a conversation. No, I wasn't someone your age or I wasn't who you thought you were talking to.
oh, this has all been such great information this morning, and we thank you for coming by the show. So, could you give everybody all of the contact information for you, websites, social media platforms, how we can even make a donation or become a volunteer, everything?
So you need to simply go to our website, and again, that's the Black and Missing Foundation at BAMFI.org. You can donate, you can sign up for our newsletter, you can see who's missing from your community, you can, subscribe to our social media platforms. Everything that you need is on our website at BAMFI.org.
I really appreciate it. And I'm going to do my part to amplify this. We're going to put it on our social media at the station. I'm going to put it on my personal social media accounts. I'm asking everybody listening to do likewise. And y'all know I never ask y'all to really do that. But we've got to make sure that we don't come up missing in these streets or that our loved ones are not, because we are the ones who are our protectors. We all we got. And so we've got to go out there and help others who have lost someone because they're missing, and she just told us it will tell us who's even missing in our own communities. And because this radio show is listened all over the country, you all post it in your areas as well because we've got to get on top of this issue. So thank you again, Natalie Wilson, co-founder of Black and Missing Foundation, for stopping by the Wake Up With Dee morning show on WAOK. We greatly appreciate it. All right. And you
Thank
continue
you for
doing the
having
great
me.
work. All right. Thank you so much. All right, y'all.